This morning I am going to show you how I take care of the Reboot when it gets to be 110 degrees outside and I need to keep the batteries cool or they'll be no good anymore. But I also need to be able to make her less attractive to lightning because we get thunderstorms every afternoon. On the one hand, I have to keep my AGM batteries cool because every degree over 77 degrees, they don't last as long. And right now, if I don't run the air conditioner in my boat, it can get up to over 100 degrees. And that's just gonna basically cut the life of your batteries in half if you have AGMs. And a lot of us do. Eventually I'll upgrade to lithium, but that's a story for another time. It's a challenge right now, even running the air conditioner, because the water in the canal is nearly 100 degrees. And the way boat air conditioners work, it's called raw water cooling. Use water to pull the heat out of the air, and then the water that comes through the system from the ocean is heated up, and then that water goes overboard as wastewater that's warmer. The problem is that the water right now in Southwest Florida and all around Florida is 100 degrees. I'm using 100 degree water, but I'm trying to keep it at about 83, 84, and the air conditioner is right in the room with the batteries, so it's the coolest room in there. It is a huge challenge, one, that the air conditioners are just not running efficiently because it's so hot, both inside and outside, and two, every afternoon we get thunderstorms. And one of the things that I've learned is that last year when we got hit by lightning, the lightning went down the mast and it traveled out through the power cords to the dock. Now I completely unplug the Reboot from the dock. As soon as I get an alert on my phone that says lightning is within 10 miles, I will come out, turn the air conditioner off in the boat, unplug the wires, and then shut the breakers off here and shut the breakers off in the house. And that's basically my ritual every afternoon. And on a good day, like yesterday, we didn't actually have any thunderstorms. It was just 101 degrees with a heat index of, it was like 115. It was so hot that the concrete burned your feet. I was able to keep the air conditioner running all day, but the coolest I could get the Reboot was 88 degrees because there's just, how do you pull heat out of the air when the water coming in that's supposed to be cooling it is 100 degrees? It's challenging. But I'm gonna show you my ritual for plugging in the boat every day. And the first thing I do is I turn the breakers on in the house. And the theory behind this is just to have no electrical energy anywhere in this area. There's no lines running underneath. Some people may say that's really stupid and that's really silly, but it followed the power last time. My empirical evidence for turning everything off is that that's what caused the lightning last year. I'm going to do something different to see if I can have a better result this year because I don't want to go through that again. The other thing I've noticed is keeping all of the power off at the dock, power off for the lift, power off at the stand unless I'm actively using it. My zincs on my sail drives have not corroded at all. So there definitely is less energy in the water when I'm shutting everything down because I can see it reflected in how quickly my zincs corroded. It's gone from being like 10% every month to basically nothing. That tells me that there is an electrical bleed somewhere in this area. And if there is stray electricity, electricity likes electricity. That is my non-scientific theory, and this is why I do this. And all I have to say is, if you know, you know. Trying to get these to plug in right, I've been doing this for years. It's still, sometimes I get it right on the first try, and sometimes I just have to fuss with it. On, breakers are on. I turn the breakers on in the house before I came out. It is already, let's see, it's 8:14 and it's 86 degrees with 100% humidity. Getting hot. All right, let's see what happens inside now. We finally get the piling replaced. So we have a new piling with really good bumpers, except they leave black marks on the Reboot, so we still have our regular bumpers. This is a pool stair that I got online when we first got the boat, because that is about 4.5 feet up. He can usually jump from there to there, but right now it's even too high for him. I'm gonna put him back in the house and then we'll go upstairs. They're just plastic, and you can fill them with sand to make them heavier. We don't do that because we like to be able to take them apart when there's a hurricane. This entire thing just breaks down into a bunch of flat pieces. And when we travel with the Reboot and it goes in the front lazarette, and then wherever we dock, we just put it back together and it's easy to get on and off the boat. Getting on and off your boat is something you definitely really want to think about, because it can be very challenging. And when you look at it from this perspective, that is a long way down, and you do not want to fall between the boat and the stairs, because that, my friends, will fuck you up. All right, the next step, we're inside, and as you can see, 86 degrees outside, 86 degrees inside. And the highest the inside of the boat got in the last 24 hours was 90, which is not great for the batteries. But, so the first thing we do, once we get shore power on, it says AC in charge. And then I take a look at what my batteries are doing just on the solar, and that looks really good. Solar is definitely keeping up with them. Then I'm gonna go downstairs. I leave this side open because that is the raw water intake for the air con, and that is my strainer. I really should check the strainer. I just don't want to do it. It's a messy, stinky job, and I've got other things to do today. So then on into the port cabin, and the port cabin is where all my new batteries are and where my Webasto 1600 BTU reverse cycle unit is. Then I turn it on, set it to 86, and most of the time the pump works, and that's a good sign. That's what you want to see. Pulling water up from down there underneath the hull, going all through the system, pulling heat out, and then the very warm water is coming out there. And the bubbles you see, that's just salt water. There's nothing in the water. I'm not adding anything to it. And the canal itself is fairly clean. I've got a fan right there that is pointed directly at my batteries to try and keep them as cool as possible. I want to put a barrier right there to block as much heat as I can from the batteries so I can keep them looking good.